My favorite two things to do with leftover focaccia bread are number one, make stovetop pizza, and number two, make sandwiches. Simply put, and apologies for swearing, they're just fucking delicious. First up is this square pizza. It's slathered in an herb garlic butter sauce, and I also borrowed a technique from a Mexican sandwich for the sauce. More on that in a bit, but two hefty pieces like this clock in at 692 calories. The sandwich, on the other hand, is like one of those ones you see at the bougie brunch spots. It wants to be healthy, but at the same time, it's not really healthy. This hunk of a Sando clocks in at 736 calories and 52 grams of protein. Hey everyone, I'm Ethan, a home cooking nerd who likes to find better ways to cook and share them with all of you. So I'm gonna link a video right now because I'm actually not going to cover the base focaccia recipe. I did a video on it in the past. Instead, we're gonna focus on the items at hand, which are the pizza and the sandwich. So let's just dive in. Focaccia is quite possibly the easiest bread to make for the home cook since there's no shaping and you don't need a hot oven or anything. Once you have it made though, this is where things get fun. Stovetop pizza first. So a quick look at our ingredients. We have the focaccia, some leftover Marcella Hazan 3-ingredient sauce. I'll have the video linked on that below. Some mozzarella cheese, herb butter, and some other fresh toppings. Now to start, you want to cut the focaccia in half into 2 thin pieces. And this will give you that crunchy bottom and slightly softer inside for each slice of pizza. Next, I have a tablespoon of butter in a bowl, and to that I'm going to sprinkle in some oregano, garlic powder, and red pepper flake, and then just microwave everything together. Once melted, we're going to spread it over the inside of each piece of focaccia, and this mixture really takes it to the next level for that classic kind of American-Italian pizza flavor. Now let's head to the stove. So on a hot griddle or pan, you're going to place the focaccia butter side down just to lightly brown and crisp up. Once crisp, we're going to flip the focaccia back over, and now add the sauce in a thin layer to both. Now, instead of just leaving the sauce on top though, we're going to actually flip it over one more time and kind of cook that sauce into the bread. Now, this is a technique that I learned from the pambazo sandwich in Mexico cuisine, and it kind of roasts the sauce and caramelizes it, giving us deep flavor compounds. Once the sauce is cooked, you're going to flip the focaccia back over and then follow that with your mozzarella cheese. Now to melt the cheese, you could just toss this under the broiler, but sometimes I just like to do it right on the stovetop, so I dribble some water on the cast iron, then place a bowl over top to let it get nice and melty. Once it has reached that melty perfection, it's got a nice crisp crust on bottom, you're just going to hit it with some freshly sliced basil over the top and some more grated parm. This pizza is basic, but it's so damn good. This is my initial thoughts in the taste test. More on that in a bit. And then this pizza is probably one of my favorite things. It reminds me of like that shitty square pizza used to get at like the high school cafeteria, back, you know, or middle school cafeteria, except it's actually good. It's not shitty. With the pizza done, let's hit the sandwich. Like before, here are the ingredients. We got focaccia, sliced turkey, provolone cheese, butter crunch lettuce, tomato, pesto, mayo, and pickled onions. And to start, I'm actually going to slice the tomatoes and just add a little sprinkle of salt to them. And this will help intensify the flavor as they sit once we put them on our sandwich. Next, I mix the store-bought pesto and mayo together. You can definitely keep these separate if you want to, and also I would recommend, just making your own pesto. I got lazy this time around. Do whatever you want. Now at the stove, we're going to place the 2 pieces of focaccia cut side down to crisp up, and I'm also going to add the turkey to the back side of the griddle just to warm up one side, then flip it over, and then I added the cheese to start melting. Now to help that cheese melt, you just want to, again, drizzle a couple drops of water, flip that metal bowl over top, and then it will be perfectly ooey gooey. Once everything is nice and warm, we're going to bring the focaccia over, and then add that pesto mayo to both sides, making sure you get some nice and even coverage in there.
Then we just top it up with the lettuce, the pickled onions, tomato slices, the turkey and cheese. You guys know how to assemble a sandwich, but we do have one more thing to do. So once it's assembled like this, you can definitely just slice it in and eat right away. But there is one little extra thing that I like to do to make it a bit more cohesive. So we're going to set the focaccia sandwich on the hot griddle, and then using a pan or a spatula, just lightly press on the sandwich. This gives the bottom a nice toast, and the inside of the sandwich will kind of steam together, letting those flavors really sit in. Lastly, we just slice into our sandwich and take a look at that cross section. That is one beautiful cross section. That just brings me joy. Let's do our taste test.
All right, everybody, taste test time. I've been absolutely salivating over these things, so I'm gonna dive in. So good. Thoughts on that in a moment. Let me get to this guy. I mean, they're quite literally my favorite things to do with focaccia. The bread on the sandwich, it holds up so well to making like a really thick, beefy sandwich like this, or turkey. This actually, this sandwich weighed 400 grams for both halves. So that's like a little bit under a pound. And the sauces and everything kind of seep into this bread, but they never get to the outside because it's nice and thick and porous, so it really sits in there, making it a perfect vessel for whatever you really throw at, a hearty sandwich. And then this pizza is probably one of my favorite things. It reminds me of like that shitty square pizza you used to get at like the high school cafeteria, or middle school cafeteria. Except it's actually good. It's not shitty square pizza. It's actually good tasting, crunchy on the bottom, cheesy. Cooking the herb sauce in there, killer way to do it. You get those nice herbs on the underneath, and then you cook the tomato sauce too. Just gives it a whole another kind of depth of flavor that you didn't really expect from something so simple. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. You gotta try both these things. Go make yourself some focaccia, slice them up. You can do a lot of things with this. I mean, obviously you could add different toppings to the pizza, make any kind of sandwich you want. So hopefully you all have enjoyed. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.